What's going on, everybody? Thank you for listening to the Locked In Sports Podcast. This episode is brought to you by Fit Meals. To get more information on Fit Meals, go to myfitmeals.com and start your meal plan today.
And also, you can call them at 844-FIT-4-YOU. One more time, guys. It's 844-FIT-4-YOU.
Today, this episode is amazing. Sean gets to finally talk about some NASCAR, some good NASCAR news.
Yeah.
NFL, of course, so many acquisitions made in this offseason.
Free agent hot stove.
Yeah, definitely one to remember. And
Tiger Woods is back, or is he?
Is he back? And we also had the pleasure of having Joey Penafil on the studio. Well, not on the studio. He called into the studio.
He did. The party animal himself.
Fighting out of
Party
American
Nation, right?
Yep.
Fighting out of American top team Orlando
East.
And he's fighting on
April 7th, Combat Night, guys. It's Pro 5, April 7th. Get your tickets, Combat Night.
And lastly, we want to thank 104.7. So make sure you guys turn into that station every day at 8:35, 8:40 in the morning. We have the Locked In Minute brought to you by Fit Meals as well to cover all your sports news. If you're up late, you really didn't get a chance to hear anything, see anything, well, there you go. It's the Locked In Minute. So without further ado, I hope you guys enjoy this episode. Sit back and relax. And we are locked in, live, and ready to go. Let's start with Dave the Wave with the fresh hair.
Hey, guys. How you doing? Dave is in the house. I just want to say a big up. Every time I hear that J. Claude song, big up to him. Go on Spotify, guys. J. Claude, The Journey is out. Thank you, J. Claude, for the intro to the Locked In Sports Podcast.
Okay. Now we also have Sean, the producer.
What up?
Okay, he
All right.
is ready to produce.
I'm doing better.
Definitely locked in.
I've
Wow.
been told to give you guys a second after, so I think I'm doing good so far. Let's go, JT Money over here.
What up?
Okay, there we go. So all the introductions are out of the way.
Wow.
We're good. But we're not on Facebook Live right now, so we can kind of kick it back. Pajamas. I guess Sean has a beer.
I haven't even shaved.
Yeah, we're chilling. Well, that's the famous Colin Coward line. I know it. But he's like, yeah, I'm looking so rough. Didn't shave. But anyway, let's get started with the essentials before we begin.
What's shaving?
Oh,
God dang it, Sean.
interesting question of the day. Okay, no, let's get started. Seriously, Facebook, make sure you like and subscribe to the podcast, but like the Facebook page because we often go live with our guests. So like the page so you can tune in live, and also like the Facebook group page.
Join the group.
Join the group this way because we're going to be throwing out debates. If you disagree with what we're saying, if you agree, join the group, get interacted with us.
It's the best way to interact with us and basically feed content for the show, and we were going to feed some of our content on there. So some of the things we discuss on there, we'll throw them on the page, and you guys can join along and debate along with us.
Cool. Dave, you got some notes
I just want
over there?
everyone to know, absolutely, I got notes. Guys, we're on iHeartRadio, Stitcher Radio, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, any god darn app on your phone, we're on it. I even think we're on the Wells Fargo app. I think.
We are. I saw it.
I know, see?
I was paying my mortgage, and it said you're locked in.
So, there you go.
hey, you guys, but don't forget, you can call us, too.
Okay. What's
What
that number,
is that
JT?
number?
That number is area code 386-516-0495.
You can call, text, send James pictures.
Yeah,
Let me do the famous commercial. And one more time.
386-516-0495.
Nice.
And if you want to support the Locked In Tea like I normally do, I'm not today, but Dave the Wave is, you can go to shop.spreadshirt.com/lockedin, 2 N's, and you can pick up a Locked In shirt, a nice little T-shirt, hoodie, long sleeve shank that I'm probably going to rock pretty soon.
I saw you racing that Bella canvas back.
Yeah, I think I want to get that for me. No, I'll probably get that for my wife. But yeah, we have men's, women's, kids. You can get a bandana for your dog. You can get a phone case. You can do whatever you want on there. So
I need a new phone case.
Shop.spreadshirt.com/lockedin, 2 N's.
Cool. 104.7. We've been having the Locked In Minute, and a lot of the Locked In Minute has been consisted of a lot of NFL news. There's been so many acquisitions made this offseason. It's definitely an offseason to remember. What stands out to you guys? I guess I'll start it off. What stands out to you guys as the biggest offseason move in the NFL?
The Dolphins are just getting rid of everybody.
Really? That's what you think is like the biggest?
Okay. So
I'm not trying to put the Dolphins on blast, but I mean, out of all things, the Dolphins.
I'll preface it with I've been out of commission for a few days.
Yeah,
I haven't
you had
had
a nice
internet.
cruise.
We're recording this a little earlier than we're releasing this, so just keep that in mind. I just got back from my cruise. I didn't have internet for a few days, and some of the first news I saw was Stephen Hawking died, and the Dolphins literally released half the team and traded Jarvis Landry.
That's right about Stephen. He died on Pi Day.
Yeah.
That's just on 3/19.
3/14. It's not even
Yeah.
3/19 yet.
I was checking your math.
Okay.
JT staying locked in over there, guys.
3.1459.
You did actually just pass your big math exam, right?
I did. I'm a certified electronics tech now.
So now I can officially
Thank you.
believe
Thank you.
that you know 3.14.
That's the JT.
You guys want to know what the resonant frequency of a circuit is?
Nope. Okay, next question.
I love it.
No, well, you can't just ask the question. What is it?
It all depends on the circuit.
Oh, okay.
It's like 99 beers in the wall. Stuff like, I don't know.
All right, Dave. Well, how about what is the biggest acquisition to you this offseason in the
There's
NFL?
two that just come to my head. You asked that question, and two popped in.
Yeah.
The Devil and the Angel, right? The Devil is the quarterbacks. All of them are overpaid in the free agency. Like Drew Brees is a Hall of Fame quarterback. He deserved all that money to stay there. Kirk Cousins got overpaid. Keenum got overpaid. Bridgewater's getting overpaid. McCown as a backup's getting overpaid. They're all Sam Bradford, Arizona, is overpaid. So that's the Devil. The Angel is the Los Angeles Rams. They had one hole on their team were their corners, and they added Marcus Peters and Aqib Talib. They got the two best young quarters in the league. I think the Rams have done an amazing job this offseason already. They are a bona fide playoff team next year and a Super Bowl contender.
Aqib Talib is young?
Way to catch him on that one. I have two.
You're probably right. He's not young. I don't think
Research.
he's crazy old. I would guess.
Yeah, look that up for sure.
29-ish? 29, 30.
No, he's over 30.
Over 30. I'm going to say not over 30 yet. And he's still in his prime, guys. He's a stud corner.
Before I even give you my biggest acquisitions, I think that
32.
was made. Wow, Sean
All
1-0
right, guys,
this
I'm going home
episode.
for the night. Thank you so much for having me. Dave's out.
Okay, well, my biggest. I already have not a disagreement, but I do have a question for you. So you say overpaid with the quarterbacks. We've gone back and forth. Obviously, the Lions. We all know that debate.
Kind of won that one this year.
I don't know about that.
They
I
missed
don't
the
know.
playoffs. And everyone in the North was hurt, but okay.
Okay,
Keep going.
They could have been the worst team in the NFL if they didn't have them. Anyway, Kirk Cousins, I do believe, is overpaid. But if you're the Vikings and you absolutely need a quarterback, given the schedule, given the division, isn't it worth it?
What was the record this year?
What was it? I don't know off the top of my head.
12-4, 13-3.
Yeah,
they were a home team. In the
they had a
playoffs.
good record. They had one of the best rosters in the NFL.
And they made it to the NFC Championship game.
Yeah, but you need
They
a quarterback.
had Case Keenum. He was just fine for him. And they didn't have to overpay for Kirk Cousins. And I think Kirk Cousins is better than Case Keenum.
Yes, agreed.
There's always things that go into it. You know, when a team transfers, like a kid in high school transfers or a basketball player goes to another team, you never know, especially in football. It's so playbook and coaching. You never know. Maybe Kirk Cousins will. What's the record?
13-3,
Yes,
first
sir.
in the NFC North.
First place. So with maybe him going to the Vikings, maybe he's not as good as he once was.
I'm sorry.
I was just going to say the last thing is they were a couple plays away from going. They were in the NFC Championship game. So I thought Case Keenum was just fine there. And then you draft a younger quarterback to try to develop.
I think Case Keenum was just fine, but if you have one of the best rosters in the NFL and you have a just fine quarterback, you have a good regular season, 13-3, but you don't end up getting to where you essentially want to get your overall goals to win a Super Bowl. I understand you're not going to get that every year, but that's your overall goal. Every team wants to win a Super Bowl, especially if you're definitely in that range. I'm not saying the Browns would win it, but if you are, like I said, one of the best overall rosters in the NFL, and if you do get a better quarterback, it doesn't have to be substantially better, but if you do get a better quarterback, he could potentially live up and fulfill your goals by winning a Super Bowl because that's all you needed to get over that little bit of a hump that you had. So Case Keenum may not be able to deliver a Super Bowl. He could have a good season with that roster, but Kirk Cousins may be able to deliver a Super Bowl.
That's a valid point, and it could be locked in, and you could have nailed it.
First
Absolutely.
guaranteed contract, right?
Yeah. For one, that's kind of crazy that Kirk
Yeah.
Cousins gets it. It's just that's what I mean. I just think they were desperate and they overpaid. And usually in life, when you are desperate and you overpay for something, it doesn't pan out. So I just think it's not a great contract for the Vikings. And I would rather keep Case Keenum at a smaller number and make sure you keep all your other players, all your other weapons, the defensive end, the linebackers, keep the corners or studs, keep both wide receivers, and then draft a quarterback maybe a year, 2, 3 in a row, and hopefully you hit to take over Case Keenum.
So they go 13-3 with Keenum and Bradford. But so you think of the three they had now? Did they again? I'm coming off of it. So
Sure.
Did they sign Cousins before Bridgewater went to New York, or was that around the same time?
Cousins
behind.
was kind of the first domino to fall.
So they went after Kirk.
Yeah.
They did.
Before Bridgewater went to New York.
Correct.
Yes.
But they were both free agents.
All four of them because they had Bradford, who was gone, and
he's
Keenum.
and
yeah.
Bradford went.
And I guess Case was close of signing with Minnesota, but he got a little bit more money in Denver. He got around I think $18 million in
Mhm.
Denver, and Minnesota said if you stay around 12, pushing 15, if we make it to the Super Bowl, we might go that route. But Caden wanted a little bit more, and he wanted that guarantee starting, so it looked like he went to Denver.
And then Bridgewater got 15 for
10.
10? Oh, I
Yeah.
thought I saw. I'm
Yeah, and
I'm doing research on the fly. Sorry.
No, it's okay.
the whole debate about whether or not you overpay quarterbacks or not, I do see your side. You don't want to limit your roster and what you have. I completely think that's a valid point. It's a legitimate point. But like I said, my point with the Vikings is that, yeah, you did
$5 million for Bridgewater, only 5.
you did overpay with Kirk Cousins, but I definitely think you needed to get a better quarterback to win a Super Bowl. Because, like they always say, your NFL career can end just like that. Injuries can end just like that. So when you have a Super Bowl-ready roster, you have to take advantage of that opportunity. You won't always have that.
Great call by you.
Look at the
Max.
Legion of Boom.
Before this year, who was better, Case Keenum or Nick Foles? Right? Before this year, Nick Foles wasn't a big name. Case Keenum, everyone would have took Case Keenum as a backup over Nick Foles. But Nick Foles is a good backup, not saying anything horrible about him. But he won a Super Bowl this year. And I think same thing with Minnesota. And Case Keenum didn't even start from day one. So if you said, hey, Case, you're the starter, he was getting better and better and better. He had, I thought, a great one. I think his record was actually
But you
10-1
still
as a
kept
Viking
the roster
quarterback.
with maintaining Kirk Cousins.
Only this year. They even said this year because of the numbers. Next year they're going to lose 2 pieces probably.
Okay.
And that's
true.
my Matt Stafford arguments. You're going to lose pieces, but the argument's null and void, or the argument you totally win and take over if they go to the Super Bowl or win this year. Because I always say, when Miami
when you
traded
can.
for Shaq and they traded all these pieces, I don't care, guys. The Heat won the trade. They won a championship with Shaq. If you
Yeah,
win
yeah.
a world championship, you always win the argument or the trade. It's over.
Yeah.
So if they win with Kirk, they win.
I don't know if you've seen this, Sean, recently, but so the Giants are I think the mock drafts have them drafting Saquon Barkley, right?
Okay.
The running back, number
Okay.
2.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a Giants fan, right? I like the Giants, the New York Giants. I hate this because we debated about this with Eli Manning and whatnot, if you should move on from him. And I understand you do want an elite running back. They're saying he's a more mature Ezekiel Elliott, which is pretty cool,
he's
considering
very
the
good.
talent. Yeah. But I think you move on. Am I crazy to think, let's take Josh Rosen? Rosen.
No,
Right.
I'm for a running back.
You think they should draft Saquon Barkley?
I think that they should go. I think they should have a good running game to balance. Eli hasn't fallen off as bad as you think. I think he needs some of those pieces to help take away from him.
Yeah, he definitely needs a
And
good roster around him.
I think that he can still succeed as a quarterback. He's really not that old. I'll get his agent, but I don't think it's time
37.
Really? I'll look it up. I don't
100%.
I don't think it's time to move on yet. Honestly, I think you could get a good running back cuz they're all over the place, but I think you still need to get a good base with it, and there's not a lot of big ones. A lot of them are doing these running back by committee type things.
Yeah.
But the quarterback still is important, but if you start with a new quarterback, you're starting over and you don't have a big running game anyway.
No, that's a good point, but I don't know if you know this off the top of your head. What is the New York Giants' next draft pick after number 2? Do you know?
I have to look it up.
Because
35.
Oh, okay, but I say because there is a lot of good running backs in the draft.
Oh, it's
So what I'm
the
saying
best
is
running
get
back
a
draft in
quarterback.
the last 5 years.
It's hard to find a
stacked. 8
legitimate
deep, 10 deep.
It's hard to find a legitimate quarterback. So if you're able to get
draft a quarterback, but keep Eli as your starter.
Yeah,
not
and
draft
like
a
have him
quarterback
bench
to start your.
Yeah, no. Have him
'Cause
learn from Eli for a year, and then have a good running back, and
Or
then maybe
two.
not Saquon Barkley. But yeah, year or two, and now you have your quarterback of the future and a legitimate running back with Odell Beckham Jr., which I want to get into, by the way. Also,
I can agree with that.
Yeah.
I was more disputing the fact of you said it's time to move on from Eli. So
I do believe that.
But I disagree. But I think that I was under the impression you were saying let's draft a QB and he's our starter.
Okay. Yeah,
If that's
compromise.
if that's the case, no. If you want to draft a quarterback for your future, but as long as they know that hey,
Yes.
they're going to learn from, he's going to be a Hall of Famer, Eli, and learn from him. Give him a year or two. He's not going to be Aaron Rodgers. How many years did Aaron Rodgers sit behind Brett Favre before? 3 years.
Yeah, a year or two would definitely
Right.
give him
Give him a year
enough
or
to learn
two.
the game in and out.
I don't think that you want to necessarily. He's not. I don't think he's a. I think it's hard to find maybe a franchise right now to start it, especially the Giants. It's going to be a tough thing to come in there and start it with it. There's not many quarterbacks that can come in year one and do that. Peyton Manning did,
Sam Darnold will.
but we don't know that.
Yeah.
It's hard.
That's a good point.
It's hard to do
Valid
that. So
point.
if you're trying to draft a quarterback to take over your team today, I would say it's bad having Eli. If you were like the Bucs a couple years ago and you're picking Winston, it's still. Jury's out on that, but it still could have been. It's a better decision in that case. But you've got Eli. He's a Hall of Fame quarterback. I don't think it's time for to move on from him yet.
History
Yeah.
is the best learning tool, and the Giants had Kurt Warner, who was a good quarterback, and they drafted Eli Manning, number 1 overall. So they got the young quarterback. Actually, Kurt lasted around 8 games that year, and then Eli was showing really promise in practice, and he kind of took over. And maybe that first year, but Eli won 2 Super Bowls. So I think 1,000% the Giants should pick a quarterback.
Yeah, I think
Don't
it's crazy
plan
not
to start him right away, but if it takes 8 games or even a year or even 2, Josh Rosen, probably the second pick, will be the future of the New York Giants and probably will win them a Super Bowl.
I'm on board with that.
Do you think they draft a quarterback? Think and will are completely different. Like, yeah, they should, but will they?
Right. I don't know.
Josh Rosen was their second pick. Are you sure?
Yeah, that's my locked in is going to be who's number 1.
Who was their first pick? Hold on, I'm looking.
Not necessarily the Giants pick, but
Oh,
he's saying
'cause he
second
asked
overall.
who
The
was-
Giants are
oh,
the second
okay.
overall.
Yeah.
pick.
They have the second slot. Yeah.
Question.
Yep.
Did you
Offensive
have
tape.
like an Eli bio in front of you?
It's all in my brain.
He turned 37 in January.
I told you. 100%. April 7th, combat night. I'm good with numbers.
I was like, no, January 3rd, 1981. Oh.
No, the draft is so interesting. So many things can happen. I still think there's a big possibility of a trade. Buffalo moving up to 2 or 3.
Yeah, that's definitely
Miami moving up. Arizona moving up to 2 because
Do you
I
think
don't know if
Buffalo's
they're
going to make the playoffs this year?
Yes, they made it
If they
last
draft
year.
a quarterback,
Yeah,
yeah.
because the rest of their team is awesome. They just signed. Talking about free agency, they signed an awesome defensive tackle. It's like Star Paletti. He's a Hawaiian name, but he's a stud. He's a really great player. His first name is Star, so can't go wrong with that, right? So I think Buffalo is just in line to make that 6th or 5th seed in the AFC.
They're also talking about the Browns may actually draft Saquon Barkley also at the number 1 pick.
No, that's garbage.
Yeah, I think it is too. I think you just don't want people to know what you're doing, but we all know they want a quarterback. Running back won't change your franchise.
6:30 on a Thursday. It's garbage time.
Okay. Shifting over to the NBA. Now I'm playing.
let that simmer for a second, folks.
No, I get what you're trying to say. But, okay, I do have a little NBA spiel. So if you guys want something to cover in the NFL, you go right ahead.
No, I think we're good. I think all the quarterbacks, so much movement. Kirk Cousins, the Minnesota guys. Case Keenum is a Denver Bronco. We got running backs. The Browns signed Carlos Hyde to a contract. Michael Crabtree is an Baltimore Raven now. Jordy Nelson is an Oakland Raider. Las Vegas Raiders soon. Jimmy Graham is a Green Bay Packer. Richard Sherman's a San Francisco 49er?
How long was my cruise? I only heard about like 3 of these.
No, that's all
Wow.
facts. All
49ers are going to be a legitimate playoff team next year.
So speaking of Niners, maybe former Niners, and speaking about quarterbacks, I saw a little Instagram video or YouTube video or something of one Colin Kaepernick doing some workouts, saying he's still grinding.
The greatest name ever.
Are we still? Do you think he still has a shot at coming back as a I'm thinking as a backup.
And we just got breaking news. Breaking news. Tyrann Mathieu, the Honey Badger, has just signed with the Houston Texans.
Is that official or is that just the guru making wishes?
Hey.
Because I want to check my sources on a text from the guru saying somebody's going to the Texans.
To answer your Colin Kaepernick thing real quick, though, would be this. If I'm Colin Kaepernick, there's 2 things I have to decide. Well, one thing I truly have to decide. Do I want to play football or do I want to be an outspoken voice, a voice for the people, sacrifice my NFL career for what I'm standing up for? Because what he stood up for, God, Max, what he stood up for has definitely gotten a lot of recognition, but it sacrificed his employment. So if he does want to play NFL football, I think he has to sit down and have a conference and say, listen, I am fully committed to being an NFL quarterback. And that's what he has to do. The fact that we have to decide what he wants to do, then I can't commit to him playing football. And like you said, maybe a backup quarterback. Yeah, he's a backup quarterback. But we don't know if he's committed to NFL career or if he's committed to what he's doing outside of the field. I think you have to make a decision. If you make a decision, then from there we can go on. But I think he also may be doing this, and it's a good speculation because you see how much Kirk Cousins is getting paid. You see guaranteed contracts now. I think that could also motivate him to get back on the field as well.
I see your point, but I will raise a counterpoint.
Okay.
I don't necessarily agree with everything that he does with it. But I feel it's an unfair shake to him because of I get the negative backlash to what he's doing, but he doesn't get enough press about the good things that he does do. So are we going to say that like J.J. Watt needs to focus on football and not and working out and staying healthy and not getting injured instead of trying to do support for? We talked about how much money he raised when the hurricane hit Houston. Are we gonna say don't focus on that stuff because that's important to him? This stuff is important to Colin, and maybe he might not be doing it in the way that maybe a good percentage of the population agrees with. Are we gonna say that? I get that it could. This situation is a little bit more of a distraction. I will give you that than say J.J. Watt would be. But I think it still is an unfair shake to him to say he needs to come out in a press conference and say, I'm 100% focused on football, because I don't think that there's one person in the NFL that's 100% focused on football.
Besides Tom Brady.
No.
I
see his wife?
I know.
I could not be 100% focused on football if I was married to Giselle. I'm sorry.
But let me answer to that real quick.
Well, I mean, he does because he has nothing else to worry about because she makes all the money.
I think a couple things.
Who makes more, Giselle or him?
Giselle.
I'd say double.
Yeah, I think, look, Sean, to answer your point, I think whether or not, I'm trying to word this correctly, I don't think it's, if you think what he's doing is correct or not, I don't think that's the point. I think, I understand what you're trying to say, but he doesn't have the talent to cause this much commotion and distraction for the locker room. It's like the bad outweighs the good. And it's not necessarily what he's standing for. It has nothing to do with what he's standing for. Whether you support him or not, it's still a distraction. So to be a backup level quarterback and have this big of a distraction, I just don't think that goes hand in hand. Usually a backup quarterback, you don't even know their name.
But you know how quickly a backup quarterback could be your Super Bowl winning quarterback.
That's a good point. No, that's a very good point. That's a very good. That's what I'm saying. I think he has
good for you. Huh?
He has a place in the NFL. I just think he needs to show that he's committed to the NFL. I have no problem with what he's doing.
So just because he has them off field, and I wouldn't even say it's issues. You have players who have been causing, and again, I'll throw out Jameis Winston. He's had off field issues. Does he not deserve to be in the NFL? Does he not deserve? Would you
say Jameis Winston's more talented than Colin Kaepernick, though?
Yes.
See, a starting quarterback.
Right.
Colin Kaepernick's a backup quarterback. That's my thing. That's my whole. If he's insanely talented,
that's a good point.
Look at Odell Beckham Jr.
Sean's point saying now a backup quarterback could be as important almost as a starting quarterback because they just won a Super Bowl.
I don't think it's as important. You definitely need one, of course. But I'm saying is, look at Odell Beckham Jr. He has a very controversial picture, white substance. He's with the model. There's a blunt. And
That's called a Wednesday
So
in my
what?
life.
well, no, but what I'm saying is it's a lot of
Should've seen that
controversy,
cruise.
and he has he has a lot of controversy, but he's insanely talented. People are able to put up with it because they know what he does on the field.
Right. I get that. And I think that because of the stuff that's gone down in the last couple of years, I don't think he's necessarily had the opportunity to showcase what what he can do.
I agree with
and
that.
I think he gets the knocks and he doesn't have the talent because he may have had a few bad games, got benched, then everything happened. He got benched for, it wasn't, he was doing well. He led them to the NFC Championship, but he honestly hasn't had that much of a shot since then.
And you know what Colin Kaepernick needs, guys? He needs
Needs?
fit meals. So you just call him at
I was about to say that.
844-FIT-FOR-YOU. 844-FIT-FOR-YOU.
He does. All right, you guys ready for this? I found the Tom Brady Giselle debate.
That's exactly what I was looking at.
It's all on the same page. Okay, who do you think's worth more?
Giselle.
Okay, how much do you think she's worth?
I already looked it up, so I can't say.
I haven't looked it up.
She's
I would
worth
say
double.
$400 million.
Close.
Close.
Double.
Tom Brady is worth $180 million.
Yeah.
And Giselle is worth.
$380 million.
That's close. Close to the double mark.
You saw me. I'm not
Yeah,
on
yeah.
the phone, right?
I had three-
just
I had
did
three
the
si-
spot
I-
for fit meals.
I had 360.
Wow.
And quick shout out, real quick, is before we get started, with Sean's gonna fill us in on the freaking NASCAR, but
Phenomenal introduction, by the way. Thank you.
I'm playing. No. He's gonna
He's
give
gonna
us.
Sean's gonna fill us in on NASCAR, and we'll all put our heads
No,
down.
no.
Max has been
but
drinking that goose, I think.
We're about to get the information from NASCAR. We also have a phone call. Trying to remember the East Orlando, or is it Orlando East American Top Team?
Tomato,
I don't wanna butcher the name.
Orlando East.
Okay, so Joey's calling in. We had a call in from Joey. We'll get to Sean's NASCAR minute, we may call it. Give us the update, and then I'll go on my NBA spiel. So, Sean, do you want to give us that NASCAR update?
Sure, yeah, we can figure out a title for whatever we're doing or some sort of intro music. I don't know, but we'll just jump right into it. So we haven't really talked about it. They're already 4 races into the year. We had a big, Daytona 500.
Who won the Daytona 500, Sean?
I was just getting into that. Austin Dillon in the number 3 car, 20th anniversary of when Dale Earnhardt Sr. died.
Wow.
It wasn't the same
Can't believe
day.
it's been that long.
Yeah, it wasn't the same day, but it was 20 years that weekend because he died during the Daytona 500 in. No, I'm sorry. It was 20 years since he won the Daytona 500. It was 2001 when he passed away, so it's only been 17 years. It was 20 years anniversary of the weekend where Senior won the 500 in the number 3
wow.
car. So Austin Dillon won the 500, and then after that, we've had 3 more races that have all been won by Kevin Harvick. And Kevin Harvick is who took over after Senior died.
Right.
But Harvick has actually dominated so far this season, minus Daytona. I was reading a stat. He actually, again, 3 in a row, which Harvick has won the last 3 races. He's dominated a couple of them.
Consecutively, right?
Yes, 3 consecutive races. Now, the record for consecutive races is 4. It's been done 8 times in history of NASCAR. The big names, Cale Yarborough, Dale Waltrip, Jeff Gordon, Jimmy Johnson, they've all won 4 straight. No one's ever done it this early in the season. Normally it's done mid-season, near the end of the season, after everybody's already kind of gotten through it. But the dominance he's had, he's actually led, over the 4 races, he's led 37% of all laps in the entire season.
Crap.
Not just a race. One of the races, he led just about every lap in that race. He's Atlanta, where his first win was. He's actually been dominating the season. One of the big key things I was going to go over was, you're looking at the stats. I remember last year I correctly locked in Martin Truex Jr. winning the championship.
Yep.
One of the big reasons why he was one of the favorites is because he earned those playoff points. So remember how I discussed how the playoff points works. There's 3 stages in the race.
Yep.
So the top 10 get some playoff points. So if you win that, you get a playoff point, then you go from there. So Truex had led the league last year in playoff points. Already this season, through 4 races, he already has 11. There's only one other person that has 2, and there's only a couple, 2 other people have 1. So when it comes to playoff points, he already has that ginormous lead. Plus, he's got 3 wins in the bank.
Holy crap!
He's going to already 4 races into the year is going to start the playoffs with a huge head start. So everybody's already 4 races in the season.
Him.
He's put in a good position.
Is already trying to play catch up to Harvick 4 races into the year, and we're going to California where he's good and he is extremely confident that he can try and do 4 in a row.
I don't want to ruin a locked in. Does it have anything to do with that?
No, not yet. It's not. That's not my locked in. But he was fastest in practice, and he, I think, qualified top 10. That was done today. So it's basically the long and short of it. He's doing well, and we've got a nice young crop that's doing really well with Chase Elliott. We've got Ryan Blaney who's been doing pretty well, and Bubba Wallace is doing good, in the 43 car. So it's going to be an exciting year. I'm hoping some of these young guns get some wins, and hopefully Harvick doesn't win every race. But I think it's really exciting what's been going on.
I got a question for you about that.
Yes, sir.
What's the percentage of the winner, whoever wins the race, how many laps do they usually lead in a race?
It really depends. There's a lot of tracks where if, like, say Harvick in Atlanta. Harvick is phenomenal in Atlanta. Most years he leads a lot of laps. The last 3 years in a row he has led the most laps. This was the first time he's only won there twice. His first victory in 2001 and then here. But he has led a lot of laps at Atlanta. So to answer your question, I can't give you an exact percentage, but good percentage of time they do. Okay. Like the race that he won in Vegas, Gordon has the record. He has the record of laps led in that race. So he's led the most laps in that race, but he didn't win the race. Gordon was commentating the race, so they actually talked to him. Harvick ended up leading, I think, 5 less laps than Gordon did, so he came shy of the record for laps led in the race, but he got the win. So Gordon's like, it doesn't matter how many laps I led, I didn't get the win because you don't remember that. Sure. You'll remember it when they win.
Sure.
So yeah, a lot of times they do, but I couldn't give you the exact percentage. To throw out the stat, Austin Dillon, do you know how many laps he led in the Daytona 500?
4. 1.
Last lap.
That's what I kind of. If I had
at a track like Daytona, yes.
Okay, I would guess it's like Mario Kart. Whether it go round and round, you get the mushroom, you save it, and then you go around the corner and beat the winner. That's what I kind of thought.
If they had the blue turtle shell in the NASCAR, it would be a lot more exciting at the end of the year, at the end of the race.
Agree.
But it depends on the track when it comes to that. Really, you could have a car dominate and then have a bad pit stop at the end of the race. Okay. There's a lot of variables, so you could. It's not. With cautions and wrecks and everything, the field gets bunched up, and you could have a late race caution that can completely change the outcome of the race. Or if you don't have that late race caution, then somebody's going. It's not like some of these other stick and ball sports where if someone gets a big lead, it's hard to come back from it. You can have somebody have a hardship in the beginning of the race, a pit road penalty, a bad pit stop, get involved in something, and you can.
Build your way back.
You can build your way back
absolutely.
up, get a couple laps down, and work your way back into it. So that's one thing I like about that. You can actually have a guy who had either a bad qualifying session or he had a change in engine from practice or whatever, and actually make his way back up to the field. To me that's one of my most exciting things. Is it happens a lot with Kyle Busch. Kyle Busch may wreck in practice, blow an engine, something happens where he has to start in the back of the pack, and to see him, the kind of driver that Kyle Busch is, race his way back up and see how quickly he can get back up in that top 10, and see that Jimmy Johnson had something early in the season, working your way back into that's to me is exciting because you're having this really talented driver stuck behind all these mid-range, low-range drivers that has to make his way through the field, avoid all the problems, get back up there. So you could have somebody who was in the back the whole race,
sure,
and he finally made those adjustments, got up there, and made a good adjustment at the end of the race, and goes in there and wins.
If I said it once, I'll say it a million times. I love Busch.
Kevin Harvick sponsor, by the way.
Busch.
Well,
all I know is if he ain't first, you're last.
Sean, that was a great introduction.
But he does make a good point. You can
to your NASCAR
come back. I mean, we're racing April 7th at Daytona. And for the last 3 races that we've done at Daytona in the Trump Car Series, we let everybody pass us. We started dead last.
Wait, did you say Trump?
No, I said Trump Car
I
Series.
did think he said Trump too, but I let it slide because I knew he was motivated.
Make America great again.
Make Trump car racing great again?
Anyway, I wanted to
but-
congratulate you though, Sean.
You ruined my point, man.
No, keep going.
We started last, but we ended up 59th. And we were out of the race for 2 hours with the fuel cell issue.
Out of how many cars?
130.
Nice. So top half of it. That's good. And it's a 14-hour endurance.
Yeah,
That's
14
awesome.
hours of endurance. I mean, we were still pushing 160 in the backstretch.
Right.
So you can battle back. It's a lot easier, like you said, than the regular sports. But I
And
enjoyed this.
the paycheck for 59th is a lot bigger than the paycheck for 130th.
I'd hope so.
It's like 3 extra zeros
Yeah.
with 5 zeros in front of that.
Nice.
Anyway, so that's going to be the first one. We're going to try and do this every week that we can do it.
Sean's
I'll give some updates.
NASCAR knowledge.
Yeah, that's right. And I've
Sean Soren second.
We're still letting that one simmer.
I'm
Yeah,
gonna
we're,
let it simmer.
we're still
Okay.
simmering.
All right,
Anyway,
guys.
I appreciate that. And
All right.
No problem. Okay.
You ready to
Hope you
pass it to
guys.
the party animal himself.
No, I was gonna say, yeah. I hope you guys enjoyed
Hashtag
this.
party team. Isn't that what it was?
This
Party
call-in
Nation.
Party Nation.
by Joey. Here you go. Joe Peñafiel, you are on Locked In. How you doing, sir?
Oh, we're here. I'm good, dude. I'm over here in the party mobile. I'm chilling, listening to some music.
I thought you were. You told me that you were listening to the Locked In podcast over and over again on a loop.
Well, that's what I always usually do, but this time I was blasting some music, getting ready.
I hear you, man. Appreciate you.
So, Joe, for those that don't know, tell us about your fight coming up. So, where is it at? What organization? Just give us the rundown.
Okay, so it's Combat Night 5. It's live April 7th from the Orlando Live Event Center. What a lot of people from Orlando would call the old Highlight place. It's in Castleberry. It's a big blue building. A lot of people in Orlando know where it's at.
Can't miss it.
Yeah, you can't miss it. It has great seats, big. Yeah, so I'm going to be throwing down there. I'm going to be doing my dance. The Party Nation will be there in full effect. So that's what it is.
Awesome, buddy. Awesome, buddy. Well, probably maybe the number one question, how do we get tickets? Where do we get it? Do we get them through you? Let's make some money together.
No, man, listen, I really try to focus deeply on the fight.
Okay.
So the only thing I do is I tell everyone to get your tickets online at combatnight.com or get them through, I have 20 hard copy tickets. If you could see my posts on Facebook and Instagram, follow me at Joe Peñafiel. I have someone taking care of the hard copy tickets for me. It's actually my mother-in-law. Wink, wink, don't tell anyone. But yeah, the party nation extends to everyone. She's a part of the party people,
That's
she helps
awesome.
out.
So, whoever joins Locked In, we pretty much say you're on the hot seat. So, anybody could be listening right now. So, you're obviously fighting out of American Top Team East Orlando, correct?
Uh-huh.
How is training camp going so far?
Well, yeah, training camp is going real great. I train out of American Top Team in East Orlando, but I really train out of everywhere. I consider myself a samurai or a Ronin warrior in my own crazy head. And I travel, I got a schedule that I kind of keep to that's kind of real flexible. I train with Paul Rodriguez for a number of years, and I see him on my fight camps. Jason Patino's been a big influence on my no-gi game, and we've been training together over there with a lot of guys. And recently I've been actually training with some dudes out of Orlando, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, or the Old Alliance MMA off of Michigan.
Oh, nice.
So it's been really great. This camp, I'm just really ready right now. I didn't stop from the last fight, and I've kept things going. My stamina and cardio is going to be I've been having to hold myself back, and so I'm ready to kick it up to a high gear for the next week or two, and then I'm going to sink it back down to a low level. And then it's going to be ready for fireworks whenever April 7th comes, and let the chips fall where it may.
Joe Peñafiel joining us right now. So this is your first professional fight. It's a huge milestone for you, obviously. Take us through your mindset.
Yeah.
Are you nervous? Are you anxious? Are you ready? You just can't wait to fight? What's your mindset like going so far into the fight?
Tell you the truth is I'm hyped up, but I'm really sitting here waiting. I've been waiting to kick it up into a second gear. I'm a guy that I'm a smart guy, and I like to train smart, and I can even though it's my first professional fight, I've trained with a lot of the best guys around, like regionally, like guys that have won titles and guys from everywhere, and everyone knows that I've got some good potential, but I haven't really shown it. And it's time for me to go out there, take some fucking names, and really start expressing my true martial arts to my full capacity, like I really want to express it.
That's awesome, brother. I love it. I can't wait. We will definitely be in the building, locked in. We'll definitely be there. We can't wait for your fight. And you're fighting Dylan Blakeslee. Do you know much about him? Are you looking forward to it? Is there any beef between the fight, or you guys are just two warriors going out there, let the best man win? We know it's going to be you, but how do you feel going into this fight?
Oh, man. He's fighting out of Ocala, Florida. That's pretty much what I know about him. I've seen a little bit of footage on him, but I like to try to keep everything. It's a fight, man. Ultimately, it's a fight, and I have my skills that I worry about, and that's all I care about. I know kind of his style. I see what he does, but when it comes to fight night, I'm going to be throwing all types of things. I've been working on everything: Taekwondo techniques, Muay Thai. My wrestling's always going to be on point. I'm such a wrestling nerd that I still watch things that people think is so boring. But I try to work on everything. So I'm coming at this guy full gear. I don't care what he does. I'm going to go in there to stop and break him.
Awesome. You mean like you're watching like John Cena right now? Are you watching the wrestling game or?
No, dude. I used to watch pro wrestling a lot, actually. So sometimes, like, randomly, like, I'll start doing some D-Generation X crap. Or, you know what I mean?
We got two words for you.
Yeah, dude. I'm kind of like, but but yeah, no, I watch, like, NCAA wrestling, and I really study a lot of those guys. I really loved it. When I was growing up in high school, I was a pretty high-caliber wrestler. I was even ranked, like, in the top 25 of my senior class. But, so I was a nerd. I used to watch videotapes of guys in freaking Turkey and Iran and weird techniques, and I still keep up with the collegiate stuff.
That's terrific. What I find most interesting when we interview fighters is everyone has a different mindset, obviously, whether you study your film on your opponent. Some are so obsessed with it, they know every move of their opponent. Sometimes they say, like you say, I just focus on my game. So let's talk about your game. What will you bring to the table that separates you from the others on that card that night? We're like, wow, you have to see Joe Peñafiel. He is absolutely amazing. What separates you in your game? People
are going to have to come and watch. When you come and watch me fight, I'm 31 years old. And in my head, I got a ticking time bomb, and I'm crazy. I got a couple years to my name, and I'm going to use all this athletic genes that God gave me, and I got a lot of it. You can you're going to be able to see everything from slams. I'm working on Taekwondo, spinning hook kicks, side kick combinations, to axe kicks, to my ground and pound. My foundation is always going to be solid. But I'm not there just to win and lay and pray. You're not going to see that out of me, okay? When my first couple fights when I was first fighting, I might have fought like that, learning how to fight, coming from a wrestling background. But I've developed myself as a striker so much, and I feel confident in every area of mixed martial arts that this guy's going to have a lot of trouble. And if he gets tired or anything tight or starts looking weak or anything, he will break, and I will come. I'll have the cardio to stop him.
Wow. That's awesome.
Our thing here on Locked In is our Locked In's like our bold prediction. You could put your money on it. Locked In, this person's going to win. So is your Locked In, are you trying to tell me we can expect fireworks? Are we expecting a KO come April 7th, combat night?
You're going to expect fireworks. You're going to expect KOs, submission, whatever it presents itself. I don't care what happens. I don't care if the guy if he doesn't come out of the corner in the second round. I'm going out there. You're going to see me do my dance, him try to hurt me, and I'm going to come out on top however I see fit. When I punch him, I'm going to punch him. When I kick him, I'm going to kick him. And when I take him down and he gets tired and he starts breaking, or he has a weak ground game, it's going to get exposed. I'm going to tell you right away, he's going to get exposed, and I'm going to punch his face in, and it's going to be a night, because he's not going to get me off him. I'm going to pin him, and he's going to be stuck there all night. If not, I'm going to kick him in his head and a spinning wheel kick, or I'm going to punch him in his face. I got anything.
I love it.
I
got everything.
Party, man. We're
Yeah.
loving this. We're loving this. My man, April 7th, you know it's
You
going
guys are
down.
hyping me up.
That's our job.
I know. We're the hype.
You're always welcome to get locked in. Anytime you want, you're always welcome.
We'll come back in the
All right.
locker room. We'll get you hyped up before your fight, before you get that W. My man, April 7th, Combat Night. Mitchell Chibali, what do you want to tell the people? Your social media platforms. We're closing this down. Hit us up. Tell the world who you are.
Hey guys, check us out on combatnight.com. It's going to be April 7th, Combat Pro 5, our Orlando Live Event Center. I'm at Joe Penifo on Instagram, and on Facebook I'm Joe Penifo. I'm the cute-looking guy that looks kind of Asian, but I speak Spanish and I'm Hispanic. Okay.
That is true, guys. I've been following his page. He's a good-looking dude. I'm man enough to say.
Yeah, I am.
You got a lot going for you. You can fight. You look good.
Man, you're the next Connor. You're looking good. Man, Joey, good luck to you, my man. We'll be out there. We'll definitely meet up with you, and we'll definitely party with you before
Stay
and after the fight.
Locked in.
All right, locked in, guys. I love you guys. Party people, stay up. Party Nation will be live, and we will be lit April 7th.
All right, sir. Have a good night. And again, like always, stay locked in. Be safe, and good luck to you, sir.
Thank you.
Wow. I cannot wait for that fight.
April 7th, guys, Combat Night. Be there or be square. The Party Nation will be in the house.
You talk to some people, and some have it, and some, no offense, they don't. Like, some aren't as passionate as others, and that's understandable. I understand why some are passionate more than others, because they just truly love fighting. They're motivated. You could tell by just hearing this interview and talking to him, he knows what it's all about, and he wants to win. So I'm really excited to watch him fight, and he has our support here, the Locked In team. So he's always
Absolutely.
welcome.
Joey, don't quit 15 minutes before a miracle.
There you go. That's Dave's famous saying, I guess.
Thanks.
Is it yours?
I created it.
I thought it was $5 gift card.
Oh,
I
okay.
created
But
that one too.
can I go on my NBA spiel? My spiel?
I will be listening.
All right. So Golden State Warriors have had a lot going on, right? Steph Curry has had 17 ankle injuries. Well, we have some crazy stuff going on over here. Okay, I guess I'll be talking to myself this one. So 17, that wasn't me, Sean, I swear. He started it. He had 17 ankle injuries right now. So
Who's this?
Steph Curry.
Right.
So whether you say you can't say it's the shoes. He's hurt his ankle just shooting around by himself. Like, he seriously has a problem with his ankle injuries. So, Dave, I want to think I'm kind of giving you credit here. You mentioned how you've stuck with it that the Cavaliers may seriously beat the Warriors.
The first time in history I'm getting this. I'm taking it.
Look,
Who has better ankles, Steph Curry or
Michael Jordan?
No, I literally just had a second. Greg Oden.
God rest in peace.
he's not dead.
Oh, he's not?
Just his career.
No, but seriously, though, what I'm saying is the Warriors look banged up. They looked exhausted. I still have them coming out of the West, but
Nope.
I'm here to give you credit that I think the Cavaliers truly have a shot because they're hungry. They're the underdogs. Nobody's counting them in. No one's locking them in to have a chance against them. But the Warriors have been the heavy favorite, but I think they're banged up, and I think they're taking it for granted. But this is where I disagree with you with. I love the Houston Rockets team and how hungry they are.
Yeah.
But I definitely still think the Warriors come out of the West. But I'm just here to say I do think the Cleveland Cavaliers and LeBron's nasty dunk in year 15, which we've never seen by any NBA player before in year 15 on the Trailblazers, I definitely think the Cavs have a shot.
I think
Not enough, though. I'm sorry.
if the Warriors are the 2 seed and they're injured, and the San Antonio Spurs are the 7 seed, they have a shot. I think if Minnesota plays them in a second round series, they have a shot. I think if Houston plays in the Western Conference Finals, I think they have a bigger shot. And then when Cleveland goes to the NBA Finals, they have a shot. Golden State Warriors are the favorite, and they should be. But it's so hard to win championships, guys. The Patriots, if they play the Super Bowl 100 times, I think New England wins 95 times. But it's hard to win over and over and over again. And Philly was hungrier. They've never won a Super Bowl. It's tough. They wanted it just a little bit more. You know, when you're successful, you work a little bit less than the guy who's maybe not as successful as you. I just think it's human nature.
No, I agree with that, but this is what I fear and have a problem with. It keeps me up at night. Is LeBron James can average a triple-double, 35 points, and still lose. So I'm not worried about how LeBron will perform. I'm not worried about how dominant he'll be. He'll be the best player in that series, hands down, just like he has been every finals. but I just have to have faith in the rest of the supporting cast of the Cleveland Cavaliers, and I don't know if I do.
Gotta have faith. Touch your body. To rub your body. Like a body like me.
Got a body like me.
Well, this would be nice if I could touch your body. I know not everybody.
Got a body like you.
Okay, Max, back to you.
Sean pointed at me. That was. Come on now.
That was awesome.
Come on.
I'm so happy we're not on Facebook Live right
but
now
my
after
point-
that performance.
my
I was
point-
halfway
What are you talking
naked
about?
on
That's a
that.
million views
Yes,
right there.
that's great. But my point being is that this isn't about whether LeBron James will do good. It's the supporting cast for the Cleveland Cavaliers. And I don't think it's necessarily all there. I just think they have a shot considering how banged up the Warriors are.
And you've been kind of throwing that point out a lot, and it's a good point and it's valid. But when you keep on saying that, LeBron could do a little the same, or he could do a little bit less. Guys, Golden State last year was phenomenal. Kevin Durant played phenomenal. None of those guys missed a game. They were all healthy. Clay was awesome, and it was like game 2. He was unguardable. Their bench, Iggy was awesome. Sean Livingston always plays good against Cleveland. Draymond was Draymond. It's maybe as Cleveland can play on par or a little bit less than last year and still win. Maybe Durant pulls back.
The Warriors'
Maybe
bench
Curry
isn't the
misses
same.
3 yeah, I've been saying that all season. I mean,
Older,
their bench is
yeah,
definitely older,
fatigued.
not the same what they used to. Maybe Golden State pulls back to the pack. And Clay, the second finals that they won, Clay, like game 1 and 2 and 3 was awful. Like 2-3 games in a row, he was really bad. Curry was really bad against Cleveland.
And
So-
I think the injury bug's going around. To be healthy for 3 straight years,
Curry's
that's just
Clay's
unprecedented.
hurt.
Yeah, because
Durant's hurt.
Dwayne Wade, when he's in the Miami Heat, his knees were really bad. I mean, you look at all the championship teams, they get banged up, they get older. And for the Warriors to never have that, I think now that's what I'm saying. I think we see Curry's ankles, Durant's ribs, you were just telling me.
Yep.
So Durant's
Fractured
ribs.
rib.
Klay Thompson, I'm not really worried about him as much, but he had an injury of some sort which kept him out of a game. So I do think that could seriously play a role in the finals.
2 teams I want to throw out and talk about. We really talk about on the show. We talked a lot about Cleveland and Warriors and Houston.
LeBron.
The GOAT.
Okay, the Portland Trailblazers and the Toronto Raptors. They both just keep on winning. I don't think any fan really keeps them like. Wow, yawning. Okay, like
The Raptors are the same every year, bro. I think DeMar DeRozan's playing higher than he's ever played, but is not going to go to the finals. And the Trailblazers are a great team, but they're not going to go to the finals.
Okay, off to the next question, I guess.
You have so many better teams. I think there's no.
Portland's the 7th best team in the world.
Yes,
That's a good team.
solid team.
We should talk about him. Damian Lillard, a superstar.
He has to win more to get the superstar definition.
So you're saying he's underachieved, huh?
No, not because if he's an all-time great point guard, then yes, he has.
JT, I will never let it go.
If he's a
Never
regular,
surrender.
if he's an all-star, then he's a great. But if he's an all-time top 5 point guard, then yes, he's underachieved.
Okay.
Goat cheese.
I know, that was awesome.
I like it.
Shout out to Coach Traymon over there.
Yeah. So
The Goat Cheese #creator.
you guys,
So, question I have. So you're not high on the Raptors or the Celtics. So you're thinking the Cavs right now, the number 4 seed,
yes.
still is the favorite in the Eastern Conference.
Yep.
So what are you thinking about, like, say, 76ers? What do you think if the Cavs and the 76ers play? Do you think the 76ers give them a run for their money in that first round?
Nope. I think the Cavaliers could be an 8th seed and still go to the finals. But I do think the 76ers, I think their goal this year would be, if they play LeBron, wouldn't be beating LeBron. It would be showing him, if you come here, you complete the process, like their billboards say. Like, it would show them, hey, look, we got young talent. They would be impressing LeBron. I don't think they even believe they could beat
So
LeBron.
what do you think that the odds are that they get him? Like,
That's the question everybody's asking. I
Right.
think Dave's kind of on the money as far as Cavs are
0%.
the Cavs are the favorite to
Right.
retain him.
right.
But part of me is like, look, LeBron's finishing he's finishing his career. He had an all-time great career. Do you think he wants to stay in Cleveland where he keeps losing to the Warriors? If you look how you say history is a great way of learning.
Does
I
he
think
want
you
to go to the
said.
76ers if he loses to the 76ers?
No, but he won't lose to him. But I think if he goes to the 76ers, 2 young studs where he'd still be the best player and lead them to the finals and cause matchup problems with the Warriors. But then when he goes out of his prime, you have 2 guys that can carry you. because he can't keep carrying teams once he goes to his 16th, 17th, 18th season. There has to be a point in time where he needs somebody to do that. So that's why I think he's going to be leaving.
I think that time is now, which is why
he's playing with some of the best basketball in his life.
Right, but I'm saying I don't think that is enough. I think that he doesn't have a good enough cast of characters. They tried to make a lot of the big
and he's
splash.
smart. He knows that.
Right, and that's why I don't think he'll be back, and I don't think they're going to make the finals.
He'll make the finals, but I do agree with your point where if there's a reason why he leaves, it's because he knows I'm finishing out my career. I have to win. And I think he goes to a team where he can win. And I don't think you can necessarily win with this Cleveland roster. And they can't necessarily make a lot of more moves in the future.
So you think he can win with the 76ers? Or do you think
That's
he's going to try and win with the Lakers?
That's an interesting topic. I think he actually, as of right now, if he goes to the Lakers with this roster, Sean, okay, I see you, Dave. If he goes to the Lakers with this roster, he has a better shot than the 76ers. But if he goes to the Lakers and Paul George comes to the Lakers, that's a legitimate young squad, great defensively, great offensively, great matchups. But I think if he goes to the 76ers, you have arguably the best big man in the league. If he stays healthy, that's what I think he's also seeing. And then Ben Simmons, who can take LeBron and let LeBron get off the ball a little bit, and Ben Simmons can play those long minutes because he's younger. So I definitely think the 76ers are a legitimate opportunity.
Okay.
But Los Angeles or Philadelphia, which city would you rather go to?
I don't know. I didn't even make it to Philly. It snowed that day. I didn't get to go to Philly.
Okay, well, that answers your question right there. It doesn't snow in Los Angeles, so I think he would go there. I think he would. He has multiple businesses. I think it's better for him. I think Los Angeles is probably a bigger favorite than Philadelphia.
Cool. So Philly will beat them, and he won't go there, and he'll go to L.A. because he doesn't want to go. He doesn't want to pull Durant. Goes to the team that beats him.
Yeah.
The Cavs aren't making the finals. I'm sorry.
Can we put a bet on this? How about a locked-in T-shirt?
I've got a locked-in T-shirt.
Yeah, so do I. But it's a good bet.
But you can always get more at Spreadshirt.com.
Shop.spreadshirt.com/lockedin with 2 M's. Don't know the phone number. You don't know the website.
Damn.
You guys
Okay.
are the perfect team.
Dave, you've been wanting to talk about Tiger. I see you. Come on.
No, but you were just saying bets and my
the goat
my
of
bat
golf.
my bat wings eared up or something.
What?
Bats.
Wait. What?
Bat wings eared up, something like that. Spidey sense? I don't know. I think I've seen the movie.
The-
Max, where's my 3 Chick-fil-A sandwiches?
The Lakers are playing great right now. Just letting you know. They're I think 7-3 in their last 10 games.
They are.
And
They're
look at
also
that.
7.5 games out of the playoffs.
With 14,
They're
15 to
7
go.
Wait, they're 7.5 games out?
Correct. The Spurs are 39-30, 15.5 out, and then the Lakers are 31-37, 23 games out. So they are 7.5 back of the Spurs and the Jazz. They're both.
The Spurs, bro, not even it's over.
They
Spurs
got
are 39-30.
The Lakers are the 11th seed right now. They got to jump the Clippers, the Nuggets, and then either the Spurs
I like
or the
my
Jazz.
chances.
The Spurs and the Jazz
You
are both
still do?
39-30. Pelicans are 39-29.
I can't wait till they get officially eliminated.
It's honestly a logjam from 3 to 8. It's only between 3.5 games.
With
Yeah,
Anthony
it's nuts.
Davis
Or 3
and
to,
his injury.
I'm sorry. From 3 to 10, it's only a 5-game gap. So from
That's amazing.
the Clippers as the 10 seed are 5 games back of the Portland Trailblazers, who are Trailblazers, who are the number 3 seed.
I was going to say the same thing.
But the Lakers, so the entire gap between the Clippers and the Blazers, which is 5 games, is smaller than the gap between just the Lakers and the Clippers. The Clippers have to make up 6 games just to catch the Clippers, who are the seed above them, let alone climb anybody else.
It's possible. It's possible.
I say the odds are not in their favor.
I would agree with that. But I think it's possible. My Lakers could do it. And I think they're focused on getting LeBron next year. So even if they don't make it, it's a big win just to get LeBron to notice
That
how
they
much
can lose and not make the playoffs?
No,
That's-
but this is
I think the Sixers are making a better case for them by going to have a better seat.
I'll make
the
a case.
76ers are 1 game behind the Cavs.
No,
They're
okay,
1
well,
game
you
behind
have
the Cavs.
you have to think about a couple things here, though. There's multitude. Wow.
Multitude. None of us can talk.
I know. Multitude.
I'm the only one drinking.
Of things here. One is they're in the East, Philadelphia, the Lakers in the West, a tougher Western Conference. But also, the roster the Lakers have right now, I could argue, is better than the roster the Cavaliers have if you take away LeBron James.
True.
So that I would like because they're younger, they're better, they're matched up better with the Warriors. Also, Paul George would most likely join the Lakers than he would Philadelphia. So if you have Paul George with that roster, that's the big hook.
I
And
can
Paul
see
George will not stay in OKC given the problems they've had with Russell Westbrook.
The big hook is always Larry Bird,
This guy.
who is number 2 in the Eastern Conference right now. Just saying.
Tomato, tomato.
All right, you want to hit Tiger Woods real quick?
Yeah, guys, is he back?
He placed second place in the Valspar Championship. Vegas had him as the favorite, right, JT?
Yeah, he was 5 to 1
5 to 1.
for the Arnold Palmer.
I don't know if I would say he's a favorite, but I'm honestly, this is going to sound kind of Skip Bayless-like. I'm going to be critical of him. I don't want to say he's back just yet.
I agree.
I don't
I don't
want
think
to
his
jump.
back is back to it. I mean, he
Yeah.
is the GOAT.
Yeah, he's the biggest draw, without a doubt, even right now. But I just don't think physically he's back to that level of play.
No,
I don't know if he ever will be. I mean, he took a 9-iron to the head, right?
Yeah, I think he's on the back nine of his career for sure.
I'm gonna say
I like that reference. Great one. That was good.
I'm gonna say something like no other sport commentator, podcaster, radio host, guy or female has ever said. I'm 100% sure that Tiger Woods took steroids. Like look at Barry Bonds.
I think it's been said
his
before.
career. And
You're not the first person.
Yeah, I'm about to say that's a
that-
big debate.
is it?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, okay, then he has.
He wanted to be a Navy SEAL at one point.
I don't know.
You don't
I
say
just
that if
think,
you don't
like,
take steroids.
No one. He was unbeatable, hit it farther than everyone,
He was
stronger than everyone,
killing
just
it when I
killing
grew up.
everyone. Kind of on steroids. Barry Bonds' home run record. Then all of a sudden, like, so quick, and usually your body, even a top tier body, LeBron James, it's just not going to be overnight that he just dies. Like,
Yeah.
I think he got off the steroids somehow. It wasn't masked anymore. He was going to get caught, and he got off of them. And next thing you know, he was done.
Boom.
Can I
Like
make
he's
a-
done.
Injury.
I don't
He was
think
on
it's
steroids.
crazy to think the steroids because I'm not sure the testing and how that works in golf. But what I will say
Do
is
they
that-
test in golf?
Yeah, that's what I'm about
Yeah.
to say. Because
Yeah.
okay,
Now.
if you look at how he was brought up, he was definitely mentally all dedicated to golf. So I won't say even like that's why
Well,
I'm
like
hesitant.
Alex Rodriguez is the same thing. He was a phenom, and he was going to be a Hall of Fame great player, but then steroids just elevated it.
Okay, and that may be true, but then also you have to look at his off the course issues, and that's
Yeah.
draining, and that takes you away from what you've always focused on is golf. So you have all his scandals, and then I just felt like he was never the same once all of that started happening off the course. And he's older. How old is he now? He's in his 40s, obviously, right?
41.
Yeah, so he's 41, and he's not in his prime anymore. So of course he's not going to put up the numbers he put up when he was younger.
It is golf. What is your prime? Like, you go to the golf course, it's all 65-year-old men.
Well, there's also the senior tour.
I can't golf to save my life, so I won't be critical.
You
I
want to
can't-
play for
I
some
can't
money?
because I played baseball, and so
65-year-old man would beat me.
No. Baseball players can't play golf.
that's when you have it. Well, tell that to Greg Max and John Smoltz. But when you have,
I will tell them to their face.
I would love to.
A Greg who and a Tommy what?
Never heard of them.
Anyway,
They're not a Rory McIlroy. I can tell you that right now.
baseball players have that grip it and rip it, so you have that slice. Like I've had some good drives and they're like going straight and then all of a sudden they just veer off because you have, as a baseball player, you have that, you want those quick hands, you want that tight, grip on the bat. You don't want that for golf. So that's my argument necessarily against steroids because steroids doesn't help that per se because you're not
The
looking
technique,
you're not
the form.
looking for the strength. He was out driving, out doing this, which that could help it. So I see that point. I see he's a big he started off as an amateur. He was small. I don't see the progression as much as I did for Barry Bonds with Tiger. He got bigger as he got older. I will give you that.
That's what killed him, I think.
There could be on there. There could be something to that. He could have taken, done some, HGH type deals in there. But
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me.
he was never as big as Barry. He's never been as big as Barry. Never been as big as McGuire. Never been as big as some of these baseball
but
players you
huge
were
as a
talking
golfer.
about. Right. But I mean, you're looking at
But he's not as huge as a golfer. Look at John Daly.
John Daly's a big
come on.
fatso. But
And he's a
Yeah,
supreme athlete.
exactly.
Tiger Woods is a great athlete.
right,
Yeah.
and that's where I think the difference is overtraining can injure you.
He made it cool to play golf.
But the steroids, some people take steroids. Barry Bonds said he got in the gym and just lifted weights and he got big muscles. Maybe in golf, and people like golf isn't hard, But you
Golf
go.
is
Oh
extremely
yeah,
hard.
no, especially 4 days in a row. So maybe if Tiger's taking steroids the day 3 when people are starting to kind of go down a little bit, and he's taking
still got
steroids.
that edge.
Yeah,
I
he
see what
still's
you're
got that
saying.
edge, and maybe he's just doing cardio, and he's not lifting weights. He's not
Right.
getting more weight on him. He's getting just shredded. So, like you said, maybe it's not steroids. It's the HGH, and it's not. Some people take, Max, you eat fit meals for protein to get big. You want muscle.
Yes,
I
sir.
take fit meals to get leaner. So it's just a different
goal.
Yeah, exactly. Different goal. So I think
Because there's different steroids
Tiger
to do different goals.
wanted HGHs and steroids, but he didn't want to get bigger. He wanted to maybe get, even in a dumb way, get leaner, if that makes sense.
No,
makes
it does
sense.
because I've played golf my whole life. I've won tournaments playing golf.
There you go.
What
And-
haven't you done?
There's very little.
He's
I
got
have.
99 jobs.
I'm gonna say first,
And
it's
the bitch
who-
ain't one.
That's true.
Who don't you know? And now it's what have you not done?
I do know a guy who does all the putters for the PGA Tour. I played skin game with him for multiple years. But
Is he getting unlocked in?
I can probably make that happen. And I knew one of the top guys at FC Florida Gulf Coast University. No, North. What's the university up north, Jacksonville?
UNF?
Yeah, UNF. Kid I used to make fun of playing golf when we were little. Couldn't drive it. He's so skinny. He's probably 115 pounds soaking wet, but he can crush a ball 360 every drive.
Wow, that's awesome. That's such a
That's
technique.
to this day. Yeah. I mean, and they just, he shot 10 under 6 times in tournaments about 3 years ago.
Wow.
That's
Crazy.
some good stuff.
Guys, you guys ready to get locked in? Got anything?
Well, I
more
was
on the
gonna I was
docket?
gonna say a couple more things on the Tiger thing.
Sure.
Right when we're recording this Friday, which is their round 2 of the Arnold Palmer, which we were talking about. Tiger's actually 6 under right now.
He's down 10 spots.
Yeah, and I was looking at something. I lost it. I was trying to find it again. And he basically it was a stat that Henrik Stenson is the leader right now. He shot an 8 under in the round 2, but which puts him at 11 under. The only other person there's only one other person that's done it was Henrik Stenson in 2016, and then Tiger Woods in I think 2002.
Wow.
So I thought that was an interesting stat.
Come back from that.
So
big of a
we'll
deficit.
see. This is going to come out afterwards. So we don't know who's won it yet. I'm sure if you're listening, we will know once it's released as well. But
Sean, I got like a little fun thing for you.
go for it.
We're at Hollywood Studios yesterday.
Yeah.
Wife's birthday, and we had some fun.
Happy birthday.
Thank you. I'll say 4. You know what's the most underrated thing about movies? The music.
Oh, no, it's not underrated.
Bro, I'm walking around Hollywood Studios, and all I'm hearing is dun, 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 like the Star Wars theme.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And Indiana Jones. If that's not the best
love being an
god
extra.
dang theme to a... That's amazing.
You know, one of the best scores. And then I was talking to somebody on the cruise. One of the best scores is Inglourious Bastards.
Ooh, good
The
one.
score to that movie, I literally
It's the
after
drama, right?
Yeah, it's so intense because they have, especially like the opening scene, just to, as she, spoilers, just the first 30 seconds, but as Soshana is running away, and you've got, Landon, calling after him, and calling after her, and it's just that dung, dung, dung. The score of that entire movie, it gives me chills. I've probably watched that movie 100 times. And it's
Really?
I love that movie. It's top 5 for me.
Oh, it's a great movie. I think the movie I've seen 100 times has been Monsters University and Finding Nemo.
Oh, if it's
We're not
that,
talking kids movies.
if
Who else seen
if
this?
it's that, it's like Sing,
I
or
know.
it's
So maybe my adult movie I've seen the most is I Love You, Man.
I love that.
Yeah.
I've probably seen Talladega Nights at least 100 times. I can quote it word for word.
Mine would be Rocky. Either Rocky, but the show is Everybody Loves Raymond. I could tell you
That overrated piece.
no, it is amazing.
I like Ray, but
It's
I
okay.
like
It's
I
a
like
C
him. I like
plus.
his
It's an A plus plus plus.
It's okay.
It's great. Okay,
It's a
can we
show
get
about
locked in?
Sure.
Locked in.
Get locked in.
Okay, before we get started, thank you again, Fit Meals. Make sure you check them out at myfitmeals.com. Start your meal plan today.
And also, guys, you can call him, reach out to Dimitri, whoever's on the other side of the line at 844-FIT-4U. It's 844-FIT-4U.
And if you want to start a plan to lose weight, if you're an athlete and you want to gain muscle weight, there's a plan for everybody. So you can even check out our Apple Podcasts, Stitcher Radio, iHeartRadio, Locked In with 2 N's, and look up in the archive, like Dave says, and you'll see our episode with Dimitri. And you can take a look at it and learn anything you want about Fit Meals and get your information. You can contact us on our social medias. What are those, Dave?
Yeah, we're at David Van Alken on Instagram and Twitter. Max Van Alken, Instagram and Twitter. Locked_in Taylor White, giving us that shout out on Instagram, but you shouted out another Locked In another universe. It's us at Locked_INN on Instagram. 2 N's, guys. Facebook, join the community. And guys, if you want it, don't wait, delegate, and lose weight. Add Fit Meals.
I like it. Okay, so let's get locked in. Who wants to go first?
Me.
Let's go.
Okay.
Nobody's fighting him.
I just said me. We talked about quarterbacks. We talked a lot about NFL at the beginning of this podcast. We talked about the draft and the Giants at number 2. My locked in is that the number 1 overall pick, the Cleveland Browns, will select quarterback USC Sam Darnold.
And rightly so. That's a good locked in.
Drop mic.
It'd be. By the way, that was an incorrect locked in by my part way back when. I said Sam Darnold wouldn't enter the draft if the Browns had the first pick because I think he's a smart kid who realizes how unstable and dysfunctional they are. So I was incorrect on that. He obviously entered the draft, and I do agree he'll go number 1. Sean, JT, any of you guys?
I'll go.
All right, let's go.
So we discussed basketball.
Yep.
A sport that's not so near and dear in my heart. But
You love it.
in a way. We discussed the locked in that I had previously.
Yeah.
I have a pretty decent record when it comes to that. So my locked in that I had previously was that the Cavs and neither of the Warriors are going to make the finals. I think you guys are starting to kind of come on the page with the Warriors side.
No.
Dave is.
It's still them.
I
am.
Dave even announced they're not making it a while ago. He said Thunder.
Right. So
Celtics.
Dave is on my side here.
Not letting that one go.
I'm going to kind of piggyback on a previous locked in. So
Okay.
that being said, one should happen to the other. The Cavs not making the finals, right? I don't think in round 1 they are going to have home court advantage. So they are going to be a 5 to 8 seed in the playoffs.
That's a great locked in.
Yeah, that's a pretty good locked in. That one I could see more, I can agree with more as far as home court than I can with them not going to the finals. So that's a
Which
good
will
one.
make it a harder path to the finals, which then will make them not make the finals. That's my thought process.
Do you remember the last time LeBron James lost a game in round 1? Do any of you guys know?
2011.
I think it's even further back. I didn't know. I was just gonna say a really, really, really long time.
But
Long time
for a
ago.
really, really long time, he's been the number 1 or number 2 seed going in. So they're playing the 7 or 8 seed in the playoffs. If they're going to go in as 5 or 6, they're now playing 3 or 4, which you still could have. It's going to be I think a tougher matchup. So he may lose 1 or 2. I'm not saying they're going to lose in the first round.
You're just saying the home court.
I'm saying they're not going to have home court in that first round, which is going to make a tougher thing because then now they're going to go in, and guess what? They might not have home court for any of the series if they do that.
By the way, just to drop some knowledge on you, I think LeBron James was only a 1 seed a handful of times in all his 7 trips to the finals. I think he's always a 2, 3, or 4. Anyway.
But that's still home field in the first round. Anyway, go ahead.
Locked in. Raheem Mostert, San Francisco 49ers, will have 2 returns for touchdowns.
Who is that?
Raheem Mostert. You don't know who Raheem Mostert is?
No.
He had the longest return last year for a touchdown. Off a kickoff. You don't know that? God.
I think that's a great locked in. I got your
You
back.
know who Raheem Mostert is?
I just said I think it was a great locked in.
He's a Volusia County
Just
resident.
leave it there.
Or was.
Really?
Yeah, I
That's
coached him
cool.
at Pop Warner
Dropping
football.
knowledge. I like learning, so thank you.
You didn't hear that one, did you? You talked over me. I coached him at Pop Warner football.
Oh, you did tell me about that. Yes. Okay.
Remember who don't I know?
Let's.
Matt's
yeah, I
talking
know.
over someone?
Mr. Polo.
Polo.
Oh, you said he talked over you. I didn't
No,
mean
you
me.
did.
Oh,
I said
my bad.
It's fine.
All right, my locked in. My original locked in was incorrect. I said LeBron James was going to win the MVP this year. And now get this correct. The locked in MVP in the NBA will go to James Harden. And I hate to say it, I thought LeBron could probably pull it off, but with this many games left and the level of play he's playing at and the way his team is playing, James Harden wins the NBA MVP 2017-2018 season. And there you go. I think that's probably one of the most confident locked-ins I've pretty much ever had. It's pretty much locked. By the way,
Wait, what team does he play for?
James Harden, the
Yeah.
Houston Rockets.
So the
Mhm.
the NBA MVP is going to make the NBA Finals, right?
No, that necessarily isn't true. Derrick Rose. I mean,
No,
if you look at that.
I'm just-
Russell
I'm-
Westbrook,
I'm
if
just
you look
saying-
at that.
I'm just saying the NBA MVP, probably his team might make the finals. Would you disagree with me?
Yes, Warriors are making it. But I hope you're right. I really do. I would love to be wrong and see Cleveland Cavaliers play the Rockets.
Now, don't get me wrong. Houston's my pick. It's hard for me to root for Houston. They beat the Magic in the finals one of the years.
I will say this. James Harden.
They kicked their ass, really. They swept them. It was not really a close matchup anyway. But
James
shout out to the
Harden
guru.
has hashtag locked in on multiple of his posts. He doesn't do two ends.
I know. We got to get that extra end to him.
Yeah. We got to let him know and be like, okay, look, you obviously are listening to the podcast, so let's get you on and let's see what you need to do to beat the Warriors.
So-
we offer some advice.
So locked in community. Let's all start tagging James Harden, start reaching out to him and tell him he needs to get locked in, needs to add that other in to his hashtag and say he needs to get locked in with Max and Dave. So we need to go flood his social media,
Because
let him know.
I've been saying the Rockets are going
Let's
to beat
send
the
him a
Warriors this
shirt.
whole time.
Let's send him a shirt. I've seen him with a locked in shirt. He's got to get the real locked in tee.
We get him that nice Houston Rocket red. That'd
Yeah.
be cool.
If he comes in the studio, I'll be like, you know what? I've said it. The Houston Rockets are going to make it to the finals. I've supported you. But
You've been on it the whole time.
thank you, guys. This
we
was a
will
great
go
episode.
to you. If you come to the Orlando area, we will come to you.
Awesome.
Get you locked in.
Awesome. Great episode, guys.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Make
JT,
sure you-
money, like always. Sean, producing, like always. Max, good looking as always.
Subscribe to the podcast. Locked in. 2 ends. Thank you, guys. And like always,
Stay locked in.
Yeah, you now locked in with the best. We ain't rocking with the rest. And when it's game time, we gon' put you to the test. Come to ball, we hitting it, kicking it, though. We dribbling, passing it, though. We running over. It's the ring that we flip you in. So what's the news? You want the scoop? You gotta keep it locked to David Max podcast through your speaker box. What's poppin', my friend? You know the drop in. And the only thing left to do is keep it locked in.